Hey guys, small disclaimer before we go into the video. I have separated the tier list into 3 parts. First off, we have the SoloQ tier list. Second one, we have a central tier list. And later on, we have a Premade tier list, which includes dual queue, triple queues, and 5-man queues. And yeah, let me know what you think in the comments about it and what you think about me splitting up tier lists like that, if you think it's useful or if it's much better than normal tier list. And yeah, enjoy the video. Alright, let's start with the SoloQ lane tier list. And starting with Venusaur, one of the best characters in the game right now. Probably better in jungle or central, but also very good in lane. It's a character that's very busted late game and mid game. As soon as you get Giga Drain and Petted Dance, you just run over games. One of the best characters. Next up we have Gengar. Absolutely terrible laner. Still not the worst, because he can actually, like, he can do things. He can split push at some point. I still wouldn't put him in D tier, but he's an absolutely terrible laner. Wouldn't recommend doing it. He has very shit early game, and in general, just doesn't have lasting potential either. Unless on level 5 he has some, but it's way too late. Mr. Mime, probably one of the most underrated SoloQ Pokemon there is. He's absolutely insane in lane. He has an insane level 4 power spike. I don't know why more people don't play him. He does so much fucking damage. He can secure every single early game minion. He can do so many things on his own. It looks like he's a supporter, but he's just a 1v9 all-around carry that can split push, clear, win team fights, win laning phase. Yeah. SoloQ lane tier list, TS, Mr. Mime easily. Snorlax, I would put Snorlax in S tier. Yeah, thank you, Kevin.
Pokemon Unite content less than 3 times.
Yeah, appreciate it, Kevin. Thank you. Maybe I should disable alerts though. Let me disable alerts, but thank you. I think Snorlax is TS. The problem is that playing tanks in SoloQ is not the most recommended things. You can snowball your teammates in lane, but he's still TA at least. The thing is just, if your teammates are good, he's here. If your teammates are bad, he's like here. So I'm gonna put him right there. Like, he's still team reliant, but you can make your lane. You can snowball your lane very hard. Gardevoir, absolutely trash. Does nothing. Needs level 6. Has the worst basic abilities in the entire game. Absolutely terrible character. Would not recommend, especially not in lane. Stop playing it. Absol, absolutely terrible in lane as well. Yeah. Absol needs levels. Absol needs levels. To be effective, needs to be over leveled, and just doesn't have good laning. Dies easily to ganks. Would not recommend. Next up is Garchomp. Like, these are the tier D characters already. Garchomp, also terrible in lane. Does absolutely nothing. I don't think I have to comment on this. Like, horrible character for laning phase. Also very bad, like Gardevoir, very bad basic abilities. Takes way too long to get to his abilities. Not good. Lucario, literally the best character in the game when it comes to laning. Absolutely busted. Since a few patches already. He got nerfed a bit, but doesn't matter if you play Extreme Speed or Power Punch, he is the best laner there is. Krusty in SoloQ is actually pretty good. I think Krusty is actually TS in SoloQ, because he can... If you play a good Krusty against uncoordinated teams, he does so fucking much. And you constantly get backcapped, and he has insane map pressure. This might look very weird, but a well-played Krusty that permanently invades is very, very hard to deal with, especially if you're uncoordinated. Greninja lane. Greninja lane. Greninja's just a terrible laner. I'm gonna put him next to Gengar. Another character that needs levels to be effective. Doesn't have last hitting potential. If this character falls behind, it does absolutely 0 damage. Would not recommend playing it. Talonflame. But still better than these, I think. Talonflame, also absolutely horrible laner. But after the last buffs, I think if he can make level 7, he's fine. I would still put him above these just because he's a better character than these on the bottom. And he's actually a pretty good character in general right now, but like in laning phase, he's still horrible. He can maybe win some all-ins early game, but Charizard I'm actually gonna put in B tier in laning. I've actually played a lot of Flamethrower Charizard lately, and it's honestly not that bad. He has a pretty good spike on level 5. The problem is just if you play against characters that are very dominant in lane, he just falls off very hard. Zaora, I think, is very underrated in lane. I actually played him a lot before, and I think he has potential. The problem is that Lucario is just a better version of him, or like Lucario in lane is just so much better than Zaora is in lane. But I had a lot of success playing lane Zaora, even in SoloQ. And he's just a very good carry, very easy to play. Does a lot of fucking damage late game, skates very hard. If you manage to farm, he can also win early game all-ins very fast or very hard. So I think he's, honestly, in SoloQ lane, can work. Next up we have Cinderace, another just terrible laner. That's way too overplayed. Cinderace has no like last hitting potential. If Cinderace once falls behind, you pretty much never do damage ever again. You have to be head in levels, or at least even, and this character just doesn't have last hitting potential, which is really needed for SoloQ if you want to get ahead. Eldegoss, I think Eldegoss is pretty good in SoloQ. I think probably one of the best aggressive supports you can play, especially with Leaf Tornado, even has lasting potential. Cotton Guard is very good to get score sheet combos off. Honestly, if you want to play an aggressive support, you probably play Eldegoss. I sometimes struggle very hard against this character if it's played well. Pushes you quite hard. It even has also ultimate can like steal Zapdoses and stuff. It's really not bad. Cramorant. I'm not the biggest fan of Premade in SoloQ. He just needs teammates. He needs teammates to be effective, but he's still pretty good. He's still better than all of the other characters down there. But yeah, if you don't have setup and if you don't have frontline, he's kind of bad. But still gonna put him there. Blastoise is absolutely insane in SoloQ. He's a tank, damage leader, split pusher all at the same time. Can have a lot of CC or just straight up big in damage. Yeah. Blastoise is still very overpowered. I want to put Pikachu and B tier next to these characters. I think Pikachu can be fine. I mean, he's a strong laner, right? It's just he fights off very hard. So if you want to carry SoloQ games fully, he's not the character, but if you want to carry your laning phase, he's pretty good. Guys, remember, this is a SoloQ lane tier list right now. After this, we do a jungle, and after that, we do a Premade tier list. This is purely based on playing lane SoloQ characters. Okay? Lane SoloQ. Lane SoloQ. I will do 3 tier lists. 3 tier lists, okay? Yes. 3 tier lists. I think Ninetales is similar to these characters, but I think Ninetales actually is a bit stronger because you can do more stuff on your own. Still just all around pretty good character. The only problem with Ninetales is there's a lot of like unstoppable characters in the meta. But besides that, I think Ninetales just can win lane things very hard, has very good team fighting. Would still put Ninetales in TA. Wigglytuff. I think Wigglytuff had the same problem as like Snorlax. If your teammates are bad, you're not going to do anything as Wigglytuff. But I think it's still TA character in general. If you like, it's just a game. If you pick Wigglytuff, you need good teammates. Character still does a lot on its own, but I think it's still TA in SoloQ. If you want to flex and your teammates doesn't pick frontline or supports, then it's still a good character. Slowbro goes down here. It's just outclassed by the others. Like, it's just outclassed by Wigglytuff, Blastoise, Snorlax. Don't feel it has a spot anywhere. Yeah. Machamp. I've played some more Machamp lane lately. It's honestly not that bad. You just need level 5 and you can actually do things. If your jungler plays around your lane, it's okay. I think B tier is fine. I think he... if he has a good laner, and again your jungler plays around you, he has a good chance. But I mean, that's SoloQ again. Like, I would put him somewhere between here, but I was going to put him here, because I still think he's better than all of these in lane. Blissey 8 here. The reason why I don't put these in S tier, like these 3 characters not in S tier, is because it's SoloQ. And they rely more on your team. So like in competitive they're here, while in SoloQ they're here. So I'm just going to put them in between. Blissey is actually very OP. I promise you just need one good teammate that you can support, otherwise it's kind of bad. But I don't know, like, I like Blissey. I hate playing against her as well, like she does so much. Safeguard is overpowered, her ultimate is overpowered. Has good early game too. Helping Hand is overpowered. But they're just not real carries, right? They need a carry to be a carry. Like, they can support a carry, so if your teammates are better than the opponents, you can make your teammates much, much better. And then we have MAMOSWINE. Just gonna put them next to Slowbro for now. I mean, yeah. I really don't know. It's like between B and C tier, but like I think this character is just awful. I might be wrong on it, but I think this character is absolutely awful. Yeah. This character is awful. Should I order these characters also, like, in how effective I think they are in their own tier? Like, have the strongest characters on the left? From like left to right, strongest? I don't know. Might be a bit difficult. But I could do that, I guess. So like, let's see. Like this, or like this. I think Lucario is the best, and then like, I mean, Venus or Lucario. Lucario is the better laner. 8 here. Okay, it's kind of difficult. Kind of difficult. I guess something like this. Here I would do this. C tier I would do... I would still put the tanks in front because they have better early game. And then probably still... I mean, these are just scuffed. This is just scuffed. Okay, Absol is the best out of those at the bottom. And then who would be here? I don't know. This is just random, I guess. Probably Greninja is a better laning phase than these characters still, so like this. Yeah, I think this looks fine, right? So now it's also ordered from like strongest to worst in their own tier. That's how I would rate it. And again, this is a SoloQ lane tier list. This is how I rate how good characters are in SoloQ if you lane with them. Alright. Next up we have... Wait, should I make a... I'm just gonna make a screenshot too first. Just in case. Alright. Second. This is my SoloQ tier list. Next up we have... Next we do a central tier list, okay? Central, aka jungle. I'm just gonna start calling it central because it is central, right? I'm just gonna call it central tier list. I think we should start calling it central over jungle anyways, right? I guess I'm maybe mid lane. Central, mid tier list. Reset? No, this is, I think, in general. Like, so I don't think there's big of a difference between competitive and SoloQ and central. I think it's pretty much the same. The biggest difference between laning and competitive and SoloQ is a laning. I think jungle is kind of the same when it comes to central. Alright, Venusaur again, TS, best character in the game right now. Best jungler in the game. Just OP character. Even better than in lane. Even though in lane it's already like one of the best characters, and central it's also literally the best character, I would say. Gengar's okay at jungling. Still put him in B tier. He's just outclassed by other characters. He's fun. He has okay clear. He has good late game, good scaling, but nothing where I would put him too higher. I'm just gonna call this down jungle, down central with these. Okay. I just put it down central. Whatever, down central. Mr. Mime, down jungle with Mr. Mime. Snorlax, down jungle with Snorlax. Gardevoir, put it in C tier. I think Gardevoir can be a good jungler due to having good scaling and having high levels. The problem is still, Gardevoir is never level 10 when on the first Dreadnought. compared to other junglers who are level 9 and have ultimate. Gardevoir in head and levels is still good, but yeah. I'm gonna put Absol in B tier. Like, Absol has potential, but it's just very hard to play. And falls off very hard. But it's still like a solid okay pick. Garchomp, we put next to Gardevoir. You can jungle with this character, but it's the same as Gardevoir. It needs level 10. You don't have it for the first Dreadnought. Just not good. I'm gonna put Lucario as an A tier jungler. Actually, so the problem with Lucario is he's an insane laner. You shouldn't play him in Central because he's so much better in laning. Like, he's just the best laning character, which you don't want to waste into. You don't want to put this game into Central because he's so strong in lane. But he's still, like, if you want to. No, actually no. I'm gonna put him in B tier. You don't need levels on Lucario. Like, it's just not a good thing to do. But in case you play Lucario jungle, it's still good, or Central. I wouldn't recommend it though. Trussell, don't jungle with it. Don't Central with it. Greninja, I would say, is still TS, even after the nerfs. Not a top 3 character anymore, but there's gonna be more TS characters there in general, so it's gonna be fine. Talonflame, insanely strong after the last buff, also very good with the Razor Claw. It's a top tier jungler now. Charizard, I think Charizard is a solid jungler. I'm gonna put him in A tier. Has very strong level 9 power spike, which again is very important for Dreadnought. He has very good jungle clear, has a good carry to scale on, but still outclassed by others. But I think he's still a solid tier A. I think Zeraora is easily TS in SoloQ. Easily. And I do answer questions as well a bit, but not too many. Like, there's way too many questions. I don't want to make this video also too long. I don't want to cut it too much either. So, and SoloQ Zeraora is easily still TS. He's also a Pokemon that gets ultimate on level 10, but his like level 8 is so strong that it kind of makes up for him not having an ultimate. Next up, you have Cinderace, TS. I'm gonna order them already slowly. After the last buff, also very strong. Very, very strong. Pyro Board does a lot of damage now. Still, if this character is ahead, it does crazy damage. Eldegoss we don't jungle with. Cramoran we don't jungle with. Blastoise. Yeah, I don't think you play Blastoise in jungle anymore. You just don't, right? But like, in case you do, I think he's still okay. Would say put him in B tier. They just nerf Rapid Spin by a good amount, and it's not the main build anymore. You can also play a lot of Surf Hydro Pump, and I don't think you jungle with her Surf Hydro Pump. But in case you still play Water Spout jungle, I think he's probably still, honestly, he's probably still A tier with it as well. Like, it's still playable pretty good. There's still a lot of damage. I still put it in A tier. Ninetales you don't jungle with. Pikachu you don't jungle with. This you don't jungle with. You don't jungle. Machamp. I think Machamp is a solid tier A. Probably like a very underrated character in my opinion in general. So I think he's good from ahead. His first ultimate on the first Dreadnought is very strong. So put him there, and then MAMOSWINE, don't jungle. So how would I rate these in their order? I think Venusaur's the best, and then Cinderace, and then Talonflame. And then one of these two. I think Greninja's probably still better, but like they're very close, these two. Yeah, I know. Stop calling it jungle. Proceed to say don't jungle. I also have to stop saying it. I have to say central. On A tier, I think probably this is a good order. In B tier, probably this. And in C tier, this. Yeah. I think that looks fine. So I can't rate Absol higher because Absol is just hard to play and just doesn't scale well. Okay, so again, I'm putting Lucario in B because there's just better junglers there. And Lucario is not a character that needs levels, so you're kind of wasting your central spot putting Lucario into central. He's not a hyper carry. He's very strong, but he's not a hyper carry. Like, you have to have a carry in jungle that does a lot of damage. Does that make sense? Like, he's an okay jungler, it's just he's so much stronger in lane, and you don't want to put someone like him in jungle, or in central, because you waste so much experience that your hyper carry doesn't get. Right. So yeah. Alright, this tier list is also done. Central mid tier list. Right. And then the last one, where we do a premade tier list. So premade means 2, 3, 5. You know, just everything. Just everything together. Makes sense? So like I'm talking about dual queues, triple queues, and 5-man queues. You don't really I don't play premade, but I know like I still know like what's good, and if I play against premates, I know like what is good together. It's just like the non-solo tier list. And it's also lane, wait, premade. I mean, I guess it's also a lane tier list. But as well, like this is not necessarily for 5 stacks, okay? This is for dual queue, triple queues, and premates. So I hope you're not. It's not a competitive tier list, okay? It's not for tournaments. Just disclaimer, all right? It's not for tournaments, okay? Understood, Twitch chat? This is not a tournament tier list. It's for premating in ranked 2, 3, and 5-man. All right. I hope we got it. I hope we understood. Venusaur still TS. Absolutely terrible Gengar in premates. Like, just doesn't make any sense. In SoloQ, it can be fine just because things are more chaotic, but like, there's so many better characters you can pick. Like, I think in duo triple Q, Mr. Mime is S tier. In 5-man queues, he's like A tier. So I'm just gonna put him up here. If you do queue with the Mime, I think on lane, if you can pick a pretty strong lane with him in general. I'm still gonna put him in A, I think. Just in premates, I think he's a bit worse, just a tiny bit. Snorlax S tier easily. If you lane with a premade Snorlax and you have a good lane, he's insanely OP. Gardevoir absolute trash tier. Absol can't lane. Garchomp can't lane. Lucario S tier, literally the best Pokemon for laning, especially as premates. Crustle, still gonna put him in A tier. I think he's better as a solo queue, like in just pure solo queue mess than in premates. But still, I think good character if you play backcap Crustle. No, this is all Petidance. This is Petidance. This is Petidance, Giga Drain, Venusaur. Solar Beam, Sludge Bomb would be down here. But Giga Drain, Petidance is up here. Make sense? Yeah. Solar Beam, Sludge Bomb, Giga Drain, Petidance. Greninja in lane, terrible. I guess still this, like, there's no reason why you ever want to play this character in lane as a premade. It doesn't make any sense. Talonflame doesn't make any sense. Charizard, I think, can be okay. Still wouldn't be commended. Zeraora, also a bit worse than premates. It's just you can pick so many better things as a premade than Zeraora in lane, but I think he has potential. Actually, I want to put him in 8. No, let's put him in B tier. Cinderace, terrible at laning. But I thought Stinker Cinderace, I think, can work with an XP support, but even then it's just... You will just lose laning phase so insanely hard. Doesn't make any sense. Eldegoss, I think S tier, premade character. I think this character is very, very OP. Cramorant. Cramorant with the team is like S or A tier. I'm not quite sure in which lane I should put him. S or A tier. Probably S tier, right? Easily in premates. Like, if you have actually teams that set up Cramorant, he's very, very strong. Blastoise also S tier again. He's S tier almost everywhere. Pikachu. Better than all of these characters in lane, but I think Pikachu can work as like a... He's just the worst version of Cramorant and Ninetales, pretty much. Just the worst version of it. Maybe I should have in like S++ tier as well in this, but like whatever, this is fine. Ninetales, also S tier in Premades. Wigglytuff, S tier. Is Wigglytuff still S tier? Probably, right? Like if you play around Wigglytuff, yeah, if Wigglytuff can set up your team so well, so if you're actually on the same pace, character's just busted. Slowbro, I think he's a bit better than SoloQ. I think he's actually, the problem is just there's so many things that are better than Slowbro. But he's a character that works well in Premade just because if you know you can rely on your teammates, you can actually set up things quite well and you can pick off important targets on the enemy team. Machamp in laning phase, I think around the same as so. Nah, let's put him here. It's not really impressive in lane. And SoloQ works just because you can do a lot of things on your own. But yeah, actually, I mean, he's kind of like, he's not that bad in lane in Premates. He's okay. MAMOSWINE. Let's put him into C tier. Has more potential in Premates than in SoloQ, but it's still probably just terrible. Yeah. I mean, he's good at setting up things. Maybe he's actually, like in Premates, I can see him being better for sure. Actually, let's put him next to Slowbro. But again, he's just outclassed by all of these. And then Blissey also TS. Yeah, I think he's probably here, right? Like, again, I don't play Premates. I just think these are like what I face Premates a lot, right? And that's what I think are just good duo Q, triple Q characters that you can play. Yeah. And I'm not gonna order these in order of power. I don't think it's quite that easy to do. But I mean, these are the top two. Yeah. Does this look? This looks fine, right? I mean, again, I think this is just solid pre-made characters. Yeah. Again, not a competitive tier list. Duo Q, triple Q, and 5-man Q in ranked, I guess. All right. All right. So yeah, I made 3 tier lists. I think this is the best way of doing it. And yeah. Like, I think the game just needs more tier lists. Like, you need to have more different tier lists, otherwise it's just pointless. In my opinion. Okay, I mean, can I put them all on screen? Let's see. So... Oh, I didn't save all of them. When's the video coming out? I guess tomorrow. I guess tomorrow. Okay, guys, if you have questions now, you can maybe ask a bit, but yeah. I hope I explained it okay enough. Like, I didn't want to spend too much time explaining things, but... Does it look reasonable? You guys think it looks reasonable? Let me put up all on the screen and then... Yeah. So this is the SoloQ tier list. SoloQ? SoloQ lane tier list. This is the Central tier list. Central tier list, SoloQ tier list. And this is the Premade tier list. Or ranked. Not tournaments. Yeah. Here you go. Wenn I click a thumb and I don't know how to make that. So yeah. I guess I could have skipped the don't sandwich stuff, but MAMOSWINE OP question mark, yeah. Premade means 5-man, it means SoloQ, triple Q, and 5-man. All of the premade possibilities. Or just straight up do Q.